Hello and namaskar. Welcome to the next episode of India Bounce Back. And today I'm going to excite you with a wonderful, energetic gentleman who is going to share something about the word we like, all of us like the most, money. And yes, it's all about money, honey. So today I have a wonderful gentleman. Let me just introduce him. Uh, so at the age of 19 years, when most people are still figuring out their aptitude and making education and career choices, he is at the helm of Mudrawik, a lending startup that specializes in hassle-free financing for individuals who do not qualify for a loan from other established lender due to low income or insufficient CIBIL rating. He started Mudrawik in 2019 to facilitate and give access to prominent digital business models to blue-collared, underprivileged, and underserved salaried individuals who are otherwise deprived all over India. With a keen interest in finance and knack for technology, he envisioned collaborating the two to serve the bigger purpose of contributing to the foundational stage of digital India. And personally, with excellent leadership skills, interpersonal negotiation skills, he's able to mentor and inspire team members and peers to meet high standards. He is an out people's person and passionate about driving the agendas of digital transformation and financial inclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have the man behind Mudrawik. Yes, Swapnil Madiyar. Swapnil, welcome you on my show, India Bounce Back. I'm your host, Dr. Anshul Dhingra. Wholeheartedly welcome you and on behalf of my viewers. Thank you so much for joining. Uh, and I am really excited to know more about Mudrawik. I have actually heard more about Mudrawik from certain people, but I want to know from the founder's mouth what is Mudrawik. So before I start and asking about Mudrawik and other things, I want to know, apart from this professional introduction, who is the man, Swapnil Madiyar?
Yeah, sure, definitely. First of all, I'm very thankful for you and the whole team to having me on the show. It's a really great honor and privilege to be on the show and share my views. To give you a little brief about myself, I'm a pretty normal kid, 19-year-old kid who dwelled into the business before going into higher education. I finished higher secondary education in 2018, and then I took a break of 1 year to learn the business side of things, and that's how I started in this industry. And right now we are growing in that much. So yeah, I would say that I'm a pretty normal kid who is trying to do something in the business category and achieve something. Yeah.
Wow, that's a humble definition, I will say. But
Yeah.
I think you have done much beyond your age. Uh, so Swapnil, you have accomplished so much at just an age of 19 years, and so and right now, if I just see different startups coming up or different initiatives, but something related to financial, combining finance and technology at an age, how did this idea come up with the idea of how, or I will rather say how Mudrawik was born in 2019. So
Yeah.
give me a little story about how it all happened.
Yeah. So the story goes way back to 2018. I remember I just finished my high school and I took a break of 1 year. I was already interested into my family's business, and we had an family-owned NBFC. So I started going to their offices, and at that time I remember the fintech was booming in India, right? And one of the foreign institutions wanted to tie up with our NBFC and launch their payday loan product in India. So I was already interested in that domain. I wanted to work in there. So I started up with them. I started working for them, and knowing each and everything about that there is to know about the fintech industry. I learned everything there is to know about digital unsecured lending, from underwriting to tech to recovery to marketing to acquisition, everything end-to-end processes. Now there were some loopholes in the system, and they made huge losses and went back to their respective country. But the idea stuck to me. Right, it was a very good idea, so I started working on it, and that's how Mudrakwik was born. Now, to tell you what Mudrakwik is doing right now, we started with a mission and a vision to help the underprivileged and the underserved in India. Right. So take for example any guy who has a salary below 20,000 and who has a bad credit score and lives in a tier 3 or tier 4 city. So that guy is not eligible for any loan from any of the banks, NBFCs, or even in some cases the other fintechs. So these people were not catered to, right? And that's how Mudrakwik was born. Now to elaborate in this space, and what is going on in the fintech industry right now is the fintechs, which call them the tech banks, or the people who have a banking system but with tech platform.
Tech
They say
platform.
that they provide instant loans. Yes, they say they provide instant loans to the customers, but they are still working on a traditional model that banks and NBFCs are working on, right?
Yes.
So they have a requirement of 600 or 650 plus CIBIL. They have a requirement of you should live in a metro city. They have an salary criteria that you should have a salary about 25 or 30,000. So these kind of people are very less in India, right? But the mass that we are catering to, that is around 60 crore people in India right now.
Wow.
So that was a very big mass, and it was untapped, and no one was giving them the access to the credit. So that's how we started, and that's what's going on in Mudrakwik right now. We are doing that. To tell you a little bit about our future plans, we just launched another product for self-employed. We already had a product Mudrakwik which is for salaried people and to give loans to the salaried individuals. But we are also starting right now with self-employed people. Plus, we are coming up with a very novel concept of buy now, pay later, which is we are calling it FinCom, which is which has never been introduced into the Indian market. So that is going to be launched on 1st August. It is an e-commerce platform with a credit facility, and it is going to be a huge game changer in the Indian industry for e-commerce. Yeah, so that's about it for Mudrakwik's future plans.
For the self-employed, correct?
Yes.
Wow, I think that is going to give a boom and push to a majority of individuals, I think. Okay, that's great, Swapnil. I want to know, how did you come up with the idea of Mudrawik, and how does it work, and what are your plans for the future?
Yeah. So the story goes way back to 2018. I remember I just finished my high school. I took a break of 1 year, and I was already interested in my family's business. So I started going on to our family-owned NBFC's office. And at that time, I remember there was a foreign institution who wanted to launch their payday loan product in India. So I was already interested into that domain. So I started working with them, and I started learning how the everything there is to know about digital unsecured lending, from underwriting to tech to recovery to acquisition to everything. And but there were some loopholes in the system, and they made some huge losses and went back to the respective country. But the idea stuck with me, right? It was a very good idea, so I started working on it, and that's how Mudrakwik was born. To tell you a little bit about the fintech domain and how Mudrakwik is, bringing a revolution into the fintech domain, is that right now the banks, NBFCs, and even the modern fintechs are not providing to people who are residing in tier 3, tier 4 cities, who have a salary below 15 or 10,000, and who have a CIBIL score below 600 or 550, right? So these guys are not able to access the credit facility from any of the banks, the NBFCs, and even the fintechs. So this is where Mudrakwik comes in. We have no such minimum criteria of salary, minimum criteria of a CIBIL score, or we are across pan India, so there is no location restrictions for any borrower to avail the loans. So yeah, that is about Mudrakwik and what we are doing right now. Second thing, many of the fintechs have their taglines in such that they are a truly instant loan, right? But they are still working on the traditional ways the banks and the NBFCs are working on, right? So they are dependent on a third party NBFC, and that is why they are not able to disperse the loan very swiftly. But Mudrakwik, because it has a family owned NBFC, we are able to cater to the customer in a very fast and hassle free way. And that is why we call Mudrakwik as such may instant loan, right?
Such an
Because we are
instant.
truly instant. We use IMPS facility, and it is an 24/7 process, and anyone can get a loan even at midnight too, or even on holidays and bank holidays. So yeah, that is the USP of Mudrakwik, and that is how we are bringing a revolution into the fintech industry.
So
As far as the future plans are concerned, we have launched recently an product for self-employed people who want to avail a loan. So right until 1st July, we were giving loans only to salaried people, but now we have also started giving loans to self-employed people, right? Apart from that, we are launching an very novel idea, which is an BNPL facility, which caters to the e-commerce industry, and but that is an e-commerce, but with an credit facility default given to each and everybody who comes on and shops online. So that
Okay.
is a novel product, and that is we are launching on 1st August. So that is going to be a very game changer into the finance market,
Wow.
and
Wow.
that is what
Wonderful.
we are calling FinCom, right?
FinCom.
That word is invented by the Mudrakwik team, and you will soon hear the word FinCom in each and every sector.
Wow. Wow. Wonderful. So, so what is the market size you're catering right now? I think because I'm really curious to know because you might have done a research on that.
Yeah, so the market size right now is around 60 crore people, right? So these people are the people who live in tier 2, tier 3, or even tier 4 cities, who have a bad credit score and who have a salary below 10 or 15,000. So these guys are the mass that is underserved and untapped. So it is a
Yes.
very huge market to tap into this mass.
No, I completely understand what you're saying because I'm closely working with SMEs for last almost 6 years now, and whenever we have discussed about finances or getting finances, I just had one word about entrepreneurs or other things. But the way you have come out with this kind of a product, I think this is going to bring a lot of ease in the life of people. Now, one question, if for my viewers, if you can explain how these people can get a quick loan uh, through Mudrakwik. What is the basic process of just take an example of a person who is working somewhere getting a salary of around 20,000 rupees. How what kind of documentation is required and how it is easy for him to get that loan?
So another thing that Mudrakwik is, very well deserving and is, bringing a change is that we have a very hassle-free process, right? So if you apply on any other instant loan or a payday loan product, you will be asked for hundreds different kinds of forms, other documents, and then you'll be, verified by a manual person and all that. But Mudrakwik is cutting down the process into a very short time. You just have to provide 4 basic documents, which is one, your PAN card for identity proof. Second, your Aadhaar card, which is for address proof. Your income proof, which could be a salary or a salary certificate. And fourth, that in whichever company you're working, that proof, which is it can be an appointment letter, or it can be an ID card or a business card. So you have to just upload these 4 basic documents. You have to fill out a few personal details like your name, your Aadhaar number, your PAN number, and such, and give 1 or 2 references, and you're done. You can get the loans in 5 minutes. And I truly, when I say 5 minutes, it is not just saying for a namesake. We are truly dispersing a loan within 5 minutes, right? So if you apply it right now, you can get a loan within the next 5 minutes.
Wow. Wow, that's simply amazing. Swapnil, I'm getting more curious. So now there are two entities now. Okay, one is Mudrakwik and one is an end customer who is getting the benefit. Now I completely understand that there is an end customer who's a big lot now, 60 crore market you're trying to address, a huge market. Uh, how you will make sure that you know this how as a process I want to understand that this doesn't go into a loss. How you make sure that they don't go into that part, because it's a huge so when you are dispersing loans in this kind of a manner, and it's require a huge capital, although you have an MDFC but still money is a money. How you safeguard your money?
So to answer that question, my 2 co-founders, which are Ayush Goel and Sahil Bansal, they both are IIT Delhi and ex-Goldman Sachs. They have a pretty firm background in tech, and they have developed an AI and ML system which underwrites the customer's risk profile by the help of his financial messages just stored in his mobile phone, right? So when he applies for a loan at the back end, what we're doing is this AI and ML technology is doing all the work and going through the financial messages of the customer and checking different criteria. We have around right now 5,000 criteria which it checks. And if those
5,000 criterias.
yes, that's right. 5,000 criteria that we check. These are the criteria such as what is the how much transactions is he doing from his bank, how regularly he's paying his utility bills, his electricity bills, and all such. And these we are checking in the back end when he's applying for a loan. And within 1 or 2 minutes, we are able to underwrite the customer's profile and get a accurate risk to reward ratio that we are getting in that. So that's how we are catering to the risk. Of course, this is an unsecured model
Yes.
and unsecured lending. So there will be some defaults and some NPAs, but we are able to keep them to a very minimized rate right now.
Okay.
Right? It is way below than the other players who are catering to the same mass or catering to the in the fintech industry.
Perfect. Good. Do you believe while working on this now, I think it's a young age, you started learning in 2018, wonderfully, that it was great that you were a quick learner, you were able to learn things fast, and then in 2019 you launched this whole startup. I want to know, if I have to ask you, what is the role of your family in this complete process of supporting you in this whole process?
Yeah, well, I would say that my family has played a very vital and important role, especially my father. So whatever I am right now is, all credit goes to my father, because he is the one who got me interested into the finance sector, and it is because of him that I started working with that foreign institution, and I got to know the industry. So most of the parents right now are adamant that their kids should, at least before doing a job or starting a business, they should at least have an MBA or at least a postgraduate degree, right? But in my family there is no such traditions of going into the college and doing all such things before you can start a business. So in that way also they have supported me very much. To talk about the financial part, when I started Mudrakwik, of course I had to borrow some money, because this is a capital intensive
Yes.
product that we are
Yes.
running. So initially I had to borrow some money from my father for the tech development, as well as giving out loans. So financially, psychologically, mentally, in every aspect of life, he has supported me very much. And whatever I am right now, all the credits go to him.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's so wonderful and humble about you. So now at this age of 19, 20, mostly we see people struggling to find out who they want to be, what they want, and just struggling to do that. There are a lot of institutions. I've in last so many years I have worked. I've been a guest speaker to various colleges and institutions across India where I used to give these lectures. But I am looking at an individual at this age who is having a lot of clarity. Uh, so I want to know, if you really want to feel like a role model and tell people of your age, what is that one thing you feel you have, that people at your age should have?
I
So
think one
what
of the most,
qualities? Yeah.
yeah, I think one of the most important things that everybody should have at my age is the access to opportunity.
Wow.
And that is, I think, the most important factor which which you have to take into consideration if you want to be successful.
True.
Right now, every guy who is my age, they are forced, as I said, they are forced to complete their education and all that. But I think we need more people, younger people, just like my age, to come into businesses, to come into the economy and thrive it, because we are the future of India, right?
True.
So everybody should get an access to opportunity, and to start something they love. But due to the changing times, I see many people are getting a platform where they could have the access to opportunity, and they are getting a platform to represent their ideas and execute them on a much larger scale. So yeah, thanks to all the VCs, Ps, and the HNIs who are providing funding to the startups.
True.
I think it's really a good opportunity for all the young people to start a business.
uh, that's a great part. That's. But if you see Swapnil, because I also encourage a lot of people to come into an entrepreneurship. I help them by creating their frameworks and all. But why do you feel still? As a personally, I feel there's a lot of impatience in the people, trying to figure out things very fast, trying to become something big very fast. Don't you see this as a challenge for India?
Def- Definitely, it is a challenge, and I think that is one of the things that has to stay. I mean, you cannot throw it out the window and raise your hands. So I think that is definitely one part of the problem that we have to solve as an entrepreneur, and that is what we have to do as essentially as entrepreneur, right? We do not do anything but solve problems.
Yes. Yes, that's the right answer. Okay, great. So moving ahead, how, like, you gave an example of how this is whole journey is happening, and there's a huge market. Now I want to make this conversation a little more interesting for our viewers, and I want to move to round two. So
Right.
round two is a rapid fire round. Okay.
Sure.
In rapid fire round, I will say one word. So what is and as in when you hear that, what is that first word or sentence that comes in your mind? You have to share it with me.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
so are you ready for that?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, great. So the first word is India.
Future superpower.
Future superpower. Wow.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur.
Backbone of the economy.
Okay. My next is technology.
Futuristic.
Futuristic.
Yeah.
Good. Millennials.
They are bringing innovation.
Okay. Wow. Short and crisp. Banks or
Out,
NBFCs.
outdated.
Okay, because you're challenging the traditional way of working, correct?
Definitely. Definitely.
Poverty.
Vicious cycle.
Okay. As you mentioned, that it was wonderful that your father introduced you to this system. So I think, uh, if I use that word called uh, a right exposure at the right time, what is that first word that comes in your mind?
Uh, Exposure should be diversified.
Okay,
So that is
wonderful.
that is what I think of when we hear about exposure, especially into the financial field. That never put all of your eggs in one basket, right? You have to
Yes,
diversify to
yes,
minimize the risk.
yes. Uh, and the last rapid fire word is education.
Well, that could mean different things, but if you are talking about traditional education, still outdated.
Still outdated.
Yeah.
Great. So, at the age of 19, the way you shared your crisp answer, and around a week back, I was interviewing one Swamiji.
Hmm. Right.
He also mentioned more or less the way you are mentioning things. So I
Right.
think I don't want to compare, but see, a Swamiji at the age of around 55, 60, what the way he is thinking, and the way you are thinking at the age of 19, I think uh, you have that.
Thank
You are
you.
growing in that wonderful space of wisdom. I think surrounded by wonderful people. I congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now let's move and make it a little more interesting. Move to the round three. Round three is a hypothetical questions. Okay, so if assuming you get the magic wand or you get the Aladdin ka chirag, something like this, then how you will do. So the first hypothetical question for you is, if you could give one power to every millennial, what would it be?
Well, if I could give one power to all the millennials, it would be the ability to have a sense of the future. Right,
Yes.
because most of the people who are who fall in the range of millennials, and especially people who are nearby my age, they have wonderful ideas, right? They have very innovative ideas, and they are willing to put all the hard work into the product or brand they're building. But what I don't see in these guys is a sense of a futuristic vision. There is no vision that they have. And unless and until you don't see yourself what you're going to do in the next 5 or 10 years, it's a very bad and devastating thing to work on something that you have no vision of. So I think one power that I would give to the millennials is the power to have a sense of the future and a vision.
Wonderful, wonderful. Because I think you will agree to it. Most of us have this, the way you are saying, yes, we got a wonderful, millennials in the country, wonderful innovators and people who are trying to, do different things, trying to work out on some wonderful solutions. But most of them, they're stuck in a rat race, you
True.
know.
True.
So they're not, they're sort of, some have, what I felt is there is an insecurity, rat race, trying to prove to someone else, blah blah blah. So there are all lot of things they're stuck. I think this clarity about or envisioning the future will surely help them in creating a right vision, because unless there is a vision, there will be no purpose.
True.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now next question. Assuming if you were made the finance minister of India,
Right.
okay, so if you were made the finance minister of India, what three things you would like to implement on
uh,
immediate basis? The first three, directions or rules you would like to implement.
so I think the first three things that I would immediately make to come into effect would be one, increase the income tax exemption limit to 5 lakhs, because people will get a relief, and will better comply with the government and the finance ministry. Second thing that I would do is to reduce the GST to 5 and 12% respectively, to increase consumption and higher production.
Sure.
And the third thing that I would do is make import of non-essential things very difficult, or would impose a higher tax on the non-essential goods, as to reduce the deficit. So if I was chosen to be the finance minister, these are the three things that I would do.
Wonderful.
But I would have to tell you that I have no interest in working for the government.
I that's a personal choice, but yes, if so now next question, another hypothetical question.
Yeah.
If you have to give one power to each and every employee of Mudrakwik, what would that be?
To each and every employee, I would give them a superpower of thinking like an entrepreneur, right?
Everybody.
So yes, everybody, and not just any Mudrakwik employee, each and every employee who is working in any company. Because what I generally see, not in Mudrakwik employees, but what I generally see in the other firms' employees, is they are very detached to the company. They think that it's a 9 to 5 job. They clock in, they clock out, and they have no real passion for what they do. Right. So this is the worst thing that you could have. You're living without a purpose. So if you can think like an entrepreneur, you can grow very high in any organization, because ultimately what any organization would look for is how much benefit are you providing to the organization. And if you're able to think like an entrepreneur and give huge benefits to the organization, definitely the organization would make you grow higher into the position that you wish into the future. So I think that is one of the things that everyone should do, is think like an entrepreneur.
True. As you sow, so shall you reap.
Definitely. That's right.
And I'm really happy because you brought that point. I'm somebody in last 16 years of my corporate exposure and experience. I'm somebody known for creating teams like this. So, you whatever you're saying was really, I've been able to live up to, created strategies for various organizations. And I really feel that, yes, the spirit of the word which is coined for that term is entrepreneurship. So working in an organization and becoming an entrepreneur is an entrepreneurship, and you need more and more people developing that. And it's really gave a push to the vision of the founders, and they can do better for everyone in the society as a whole. So wonderful reply. Uh, Now moving towards something which we all have encountered in last 120 days. And so I want to go to the main objective now, one of the strong objective why we are coming out with India Bounce Back series. How, according to you, last 100 days have impacted our country, and what impact it had on you as an individual and as a businessman?
Well, this period has proven to be a very tough time for all of us. Economic growth has slowed down. Unemployment rate has gone through the roof. Businesses are in stress. COVID-19 has affected almost all the businesses in a bad way. For the first time in the last decade or 2 decades, there is a possibility that the GDP might go down in negative.
Yes.
So yeah, that is one of the worst signs that you could see as an entrepreneur. I think this is the time that government should be more proactive than ever and start working on the revival of the economy, not in just terms of relief funds and all that, but also spreading awareness in terms of how this is the new normal and we have to live with it. Because what I see right now is that most of the people are stuck at home even after the unlock is started because of the fear that they might catch the coronavirus.
True.
But someone who in my family is from a medical background, and as rightly said that coronavirus is nothing but an enhanced flu. So there is nothing to be worried about in this scenario, and I think people should start going out and living their lives normally again, because until they do that, I don't think the economy can be revived.
True.
So I think that is one of the things that we have to focus on right now.
Yes. So how this particular 120 days have impacted your business?
Well, Mudrakwik is already a tech-enabled platform, and we don't have much offline conversion and offline walk-ins. So I would say that there is not a major effect on Mudrakwik, but of course there has been, because see, many of the people are getting unemployed, they are getting kicked out of their jobs. So of course their spending habits would differ in the future, and right now they're different. So definitely there has been a decline in business, but not as much as the other offline and physical businesses such as manufacturing and all that. So yeah, we have suffered some decline in business, but we are strong enough to cope up with it and revive again.
Wonderful. So my question is, during this time, if I just ask you this specific, starting from 23rd March 2020, how many loans Mudrakwik, if you can give us idea about, like, why I'm asking this question, very genuinely, I'm asking this question to let people know that different business opportunities, if there is a crisis, there will be opportunities and there will be challenges. And most of the time when I interact with various people, they see the challenge part more. They don't want to go into a technology driven businesses. They don't want to go into technology. Although, so I want you to give me an understanding, so that it can be a good viewpoint or a perspective for those viewers who are into business and are still thinking about going towards technology. So I want to know how much business or how much revenue you were able to, or how many loans you were able to disperse in this time.
Definitely. So before the COVID hit in March, in the late March, we were doing around 2,000 to 3,000 loans per day, right? And the average ticket size that we have is around 3,000 to 4,000, right? So after the COVID hit, for the month of April, I remember we stopped giving loans, because I was also not sure how this would fold out, and how it would affect on the economy as well as the individual.
True.
So for the first 2 or 3 weeks, we completely and entirely stopped the disbursement and giving loans to the people. But the more I read about COVID, the more I understood what is it. I knew that ultimately the people that were getting kicked out of the jobs, they were the people that we are targeting, right? So
True.
the people that we are targeting are the people who are most in need right now. The people who are, blue collar salaried, they fall into the blue collar salaried segment. So these people needed more loans than ever now, because it is a huge requirement for them. So that is why I, in fact, not having an idea of what is going to be, still we started disbursement, and we got a very huge response that we don't normally get. So we increased the disbursement 20 to 30 percentage. And surprisingly, I would have to tell you that the delinquencies or the defaults have gone 2 or 3% down since the
Oh,
lockdown started. So I was expecting that, due to the lockdown and the moratorium, though it does not affect us much in a way, but still people would, default on the loans, but it has gone down. And I just think that, when you have less options as a borrower, the default rate goes down. So it has been proven to be a very, mind twisting month for us, because we saw the numbers and we were amazed कि भाई ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है?
ऐसा कैसे?
How can the delinquencies be such on the lower end? So we have started and we have given around 5 to 6 year in the past 2 months to all the people who are living in, in the tier 3 and tier 4 cities, and we are getting a very good response, since the banks, NBFCs, and all the other fintechs have, stopped dispersing. So I don't think they would be, starting before the month of September or, November. So I think we are in good hands right now, and people, we are getting a good response from all the people.
Wonderful, wonderful. So another curious question which just came in my mind. So your business model is: are you doing corporate tie-ups, or is it anybody can come on the app and just process their application?
No, it is an free for all platform. Anybody can come and apply for a loan. So you just have to download the app and fill out the documents and just apply for the loan. So anybody can get a loan essentially at any point of time.
Okay, great. So my next question, which I asked to every every person I interview: are you confident that India will bounce back?
Yes, definitely. Provided that there are no more lockdowns. Of course, that is one condition that in which, India might suffer more and more loss. But I think the government has right now understood that, lockdown is not the way to go, and it is definitely not the solution to, cater to these needs of people. So provided that there are no more lockdowns, we can, thrive. I'm confident about that.
Wonderful. So now I want to request you for something. So
Yeah.
we have created a India bounce back action. So we will be collecting those actions and creating a powerful, song related to that. That's our vision. So I
Right.
want you to just do an action with me. Just understand first and then do it. Okay. So
Sure.
it's India will bounce back.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we will do it together. Okay.
Right.
So
Sure.
okay. So ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, and go. India
India will
will bounce back.
back.
Wow, great. Thank you, Swapnil, for this action. Now, the next question, and I want you, the entrepreneur in you and the visionary in you, to answer this question. The question is: what role do you believe you, as an individual, and Mudrakwik are going to play for the new normal of India? How strong contributor do you feel Mudrakwik can become for the new normal?
Well, I think first of all, tech is going to be the new normal in India, right? For each
True.
and every business, not just the modern startups or tech companies. Even the traditional offline businesses will be developing their tech and building an online presence. From customer acquisition to brand awareness, everything is slowly moving online. As far as we are concerned, Mudrakwik is already a tech-enabled platform, right? We are a company. We as a company won't have to put too much work into digitization.
True.
With that said, due to the moratorium and the negative aspect of all the people towards the economy of India, I think nobody, not the banks, not the NBFCs, and even the fintechs, will be giving or starting the disbursement of loans to all the people. So this provides a huge opportunity for Mudrakwik to cater to a very, very big mass, right? So if you
True.
look at all the traditional as well as the fintech lenders, they are not giving out loans because they're afraid that they will suffer a huge
Bad
NP
debts.
or a huge default. So that is where Mudrakwik comes in. We are confident enough to provide unsecured loans to people and to recover them back, right? So
Wonderful.
this is the platform that we have got, and not just in the business or in the revenue aspect of things. I think it is more of a social responsibility for me and Mudrakwik to give out loans to the underserved people, because right now is the time that they need the loans most.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
this has provided a very big opportunity, and Mudrakwik will be catering to such a huge mass for the future that it can become a very, very big brand.
Wonderful, wonderful. And from my side, and from me as well as from my whole team, we wish you all the best. I think what you're doing right now and what is an opportunity, maybe from business perspective it's an opportunity, but yes, the kind of money which you are trying to give or as a loan to people at this time will surely help them uh, in bouncing back. I think it's a very, very important cause, as well as a noble initiative as well. So wonderful. So coming to the last question, I
Yeah.
want to, Swapnil, uh, what will be your three advices or suggestions or your three messages for for all my viewers?
So, I would not like to, of course, advise someone at this age, because I should not be giving advice to all the experienced individuals out there. But here is my piece. My first advice would be to just go out, right? Go out and resume your offices, resume your shops, and resume your businesses. Because right now there are many people who are not going to their offices, not going to their businesses, because they are very fearful of the coronavirus, right? And if this continues, they will not be able to revive their business and revive the economy. So my first advice would be to just go out and resume everything and live normally. And thanks to the media, they have
Mm.
created a very panic situation in the minds and
Yes.
hearts of all the individuals. So yeah, I think that is also one of the aspect.
Yeah.
uh, so my second advice would be to rethink once on your company's business and revenue model, because these are very tough times, and I think many companies would have to pivot in these tough times, right? Knowing what revenue model works and which doesn't is of crucial importance now,
True.
and it can be one of the things that makes or breaks a company's future in these times.
True.
So I think second would be to really rethink your business and revenue model and pivot if needed. And the third advice would be to of course build an online presence. So if you're a traditional offline business, like you are running a shop or you have a restaurant or something like that, I think your marketing, acquisition, and brand awareness aspect should be out there, and you should build an online presence, because it is the new normal, and you should be on the working on the digitization of your company or your business.
True. 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 Very true. Very true. Thank you so much, Swapnil. I think that will be really, really fruitful for many people. Yes, first go out, don't panic, because this is, we are all of us. I think all of us are responsible for the new normal. If we don't come out, if we don't go out, if we don't resume to the normal, and if we just listen to the what media is saying, we will never go out. Okay, so there is a panic, no doubt. There is a fearful situation. Be safe, be secure, use all precautions, but this go out. Try to resume yourself. Nobody is going to support you unless you do it for yourself.
Definitely.
Secondly, yes, what Swapnil said, I'm really, really, wonderful. Yes, create your online presence. Very important. I think, Swapnil, as I shared with you, one of my business is into creating digital presence for the people. And in this last 3 months, yes, I got many people coming up to me for asking me to create that basic presence. Many business owners have approached this time because they realize the importance of presence now. When you said this tomorrow world is going to be a tech world, a digital world, yes, a presence is must. and I think very good point which you brought. And yes, please go out, open your shops, and thank you, Swapnil Madiyar, for taking out time, for sharing such a wonderful advice. And without asking your permission, I'm saying now I'm a brand ambassador for Modikwik. Sorry,
Mudrakwik.
Mudrakwik. Sorry, Mudrakwik. And all my friends in business communities and business owners and entrepreneurs, I will certainly share a good word of mouth about your work, so that those who are working there in their facilities, in their organizations, can take advantage. And may God bless you with a lot of success, happiness, and you take care of your family, your health, your people, grow. And as a team of India Bounce Back, I want to thank you once again. And ladies and gentlemen, this was Swapnil Madiyar sharing all the wonderful insight. And go download the app, take advices. And I think what he has shared today has had a lot of value. And it's really going to be, I'm happy that I had a wonderful and meaningful conversation with him. Stay tuned for next episode of India Bounce Back with other eminent personalities in future. Thank you, Swapnil, once again from the complete team of India Bounce Back. And yes, India will bounce back and no one can stop it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It was really nice talking to you.
All the best to you.
Yeah, all the best. Thank you.